Because
Let her finish and then you can speak in Anna. Yeah,
because he's every day in it, and he explores it and listens to and follows everybody and everything what's happening on the scene.
Okay.
So, and the professor is like teaching about everything, theories and what's happening, but I think he's not so into it, like
Okay.
in the new.
I wanted to say that it's very important to keep in mind that there are two types of journalism, informative and opinion one, so you have to divide it.
Alright.
And if it's an opinion journalism, then yes, you can analyze, but otherwise if you just want to inform, you should be objective and just present the facts.
So is the opinionated journalist a journalist at all? If the function of journalism is to present a balanced news, right, then how can an opinionated journalism be balanced? An opinion is a particular point of view. It is one way to interpret a phenomenon. From this perspective then, how can there is a contradiction? I'm entering these debates because they're extremely important to understand the role of journalism in this global world dominated by new media. What do you think?
This border is necessary in between different programs. When you have newscast, you have newscast. When you have a political show, a studio, talk show,
okay,
you have. But my understanding of objectiveness is to let the public know what is your opinion.
Really?
So
by your opinion, you mean the opinion of the reporter, whoever reports the news?
the journalists. Not exactly in this story, in only one story.
So you report the news and you let the public know what your opinion is of what's happening?
No, not in this story. Hey, this is a long process.
Okay.
So we have stories every night on the newscast. Sometimes you've been invited to a talk show to comment the situation. And you have to be honest with the public. You have to let them know what is your opinion. So it's much worse to hide your opinion.
Going then to the analysis of a social class. I know plenty of people in Bulgaria and elsewhere in the world who do not have the money to afford to have 50 channels so that they can flip the channels and choose the one that they find objective. In Bulgaria, in fact, if you're a resident in a small village, you watch what? 3 channels. So what is your choice here? So, as Anna was saying, if you're in Romania...
3 is more than 1.
Right, but it's not enough. It is not enough to sustain a democratic dialogue.
I'm sure that most people cannot afford, and the social service show that in Bulgaria that a big number of young people who spend more of their time on the internet, who receive more information from internet than from traditional media, they do not trust television. So we have to work together. And most of my colleagues, this is the problem, think that they are the only one, and they do not recognize that you're also a journalist.
Oh, let me see if I understand correctly. That's an incredible thought. Thank you for this insight. So, media owners, the people who own media, are diversifying their business. So they're going beyond TV, radio station, or whatever they have. They're entering the business of construction, buildings, whatever. But these other businesses are funded by the government. So they're making a profit.
And to maintain that profit, by the government. Yeah, somehow dependent.
So to maintain that profit, when it comes to their media companies, they're reporting favorite news for the government to sustain that other business.
Sure.
Yes, it's normal.
Yeah.
Why is this normal?
It's everywhere. It's not only Bulgaria. It's not normal, but it's everywhere.
Thank you. It's not normal, but it's everywhere.
Normal for our days, for our society.
Okay, and this is a new trend in
Yes.
the media market. Why is this wrong, Mr. Todorova?
So I'm not sure if you're well informed about the situation in Bulgaria, but Bulgaria is the #1 country in Europe. I don't know about the world. In concern of developing the construction business, of a real estate business. In Bulgaria the prices of homes have jumped several times for the last years. So this is the big business. Bulgaria's seaside is the #1 construction port in Europe now. There are thousands of new hotels, and the apartments they are sold even before the beginning of construction. So this is very quick money, and most businessmen from all spheres of business they started doing business in construction because it's really quick money, very quick. And of course, this is going to amend this process. But they, if they had 10 millions, now they have 10 millions. So, and when you become bigger and bigger in business, you start contacting with other big figures. And in fact, part of them are dependent from the government, because the government takes taxes from us and gives back these taxes to these subcontractors. So if it's a political issue. If the economy of Bulgaria is more liberal, if the taxes are lower and the percentage of redistributed GDP from the government is less, then the mafia will be weaker, I think.
How does this affect the journalist? This is the owner of let's say, a television station. But this owner exerts pressure, puts pressure on the journalist, right? To report the news in a way that flatters the government so that this guy, the owner, let's say, or upper management of the company, the media company, have you ever been subjected to such pressure?
It's not so simple. Well, so, I've never been pressed directly. But what happens? When you produce a story, let's say objectively, the story will be lost among other stories that are not so objective. So this is the instrument. They do not fire you, they do not tell you you don't have to do this. But they will put the first 5 stories in the rundown, the right stories, and yours will be the last one. Or for example, the big mainstream TV channels, they have, let's say, 4 newscasts a day. For example, if they have 4 newscasts, the right stories, they will be aired in all 4 newscasts. The wrong story will be aired only in 1 newscast. So it's not so simple.
Okay. In the United States, do you know what happened? Smart. Conservatives are those who represent the point of view of the government, who is at the moment at war, as you know, in Iraq, and the war has lost public support, launches its own network precisely following the format of the one you just launched, Fox TV News, that is representing, that hires journalists who come from a more conservative tradition or who have kind of, sympathized with the war or have produced reports that are favorite of the war. So this particular network becomes part of the entire media landscape where you can kind of hear the point of view of the government. So instead of shutting down, they enter the market. So, and then it is not the government.
No, I do not agree. So Fox Network is part of News Corporation. And the TV station I used to work for 7 years in Bulgaria is also part of News Corporation. It's the #1 TV station in Bulgaria, it's called BTV. So they follow the same mechanism.